Oh, Professor Kiros. I'm on my friend's computer once again. I did sorry about all the trouble. Oh, Professor Kiros. I'm on my friend's computer once again. I did sorry about all the trouble. I just got it to work. I do not own a MacBook. I have a Chromebook, but apparently it's not working on here or my other friend's MacBook. So I finally figured it out. Sorry about this. So I am the instructor Jeremiah Williams, and my novice is Jada Long, and I will be teaching her the skill, the dip, widely known as the death drop, but the dip is the proper terminology. Woo. Okay, so the fundamentals of the dip, this requires coordination, it requires balance. You also want to utilize flexibility and control. Um, the history of the dip, this is a unique cultural significant dance movement. It can be found in histories of majorette dancing founded by African Americans, but where it's birthed from is underground NYC ballroom scene. This in today's modern day is utilized in a multitude of dancing styles, including contemporary salsa, hip hop, and like I stated before, majorette and underground ballroom. Exploring in this presentation, I want to explore the complexities of verbal cueing, feedback, and my novice's progression throughout the whole experience. In this video, we're going to be showing, sorry, it looks a little funky, but in this video, we're going to be showing how the dip is supposed to look, the standard dip. And now we can exit out of there. Perfect. The skill requirements for the dip. So this is known as a gross motor skill. This is including your large muscle groups. So muscles within your a leg. And then you want to, this also incorporates your hips, your core, engagement of your core, your leg, and like I stated before, and trunk extension. Um, Hamstring, quad, all of that is included into this. This is a discrete motor skill. I mean, sorry about that. This is a discrete skill. It has a clear beginning, the initiate sway that you saw in the video and the motion, and then the quick eccentric descent ending on the floor. This is an organized skill. So these moves are not easily broken down apart from each other. They're all tightly packed into one motion, and each step is necessary. Like kind of if I wanted to use an analogy, the domino effect. So if your goal is to get all the dominoes to fall and you start from the first one, each domino is vital in completing that step, and that's exactly how the dip works. This training can be an open skill or a closed skill, but a true expert can perform this skill in any external environment. Because if you are an expert with this movement, you are usually a performer. So wherever you're booked is where you're going to perform, whether that's on a mat, whether that's on grass, whether that's outside, whether that's in the gym. You just have to be able to perform this diff safely and still clean. With that being said, let's get into my novice's first trial run into the dip. I miss Jada. Okay. So my novice's pre-training, um, I noticed some of the things I wanted my novice to get better at, but for that, I needed her to have a clear idea of what an expert is, how it's supposed to look. I already gave her that visual, but now I have to give her that verbal, which we'll touch on later with the verbal cues and the imagery. But for what I wanted her to get the idea of before we started the training is I wanted her dip to be a smooth and confident eccentric drop. I wanted a controlled descent and extension, which is the main key steps of what we worked at in this overall experience. And then proper timing and alignment. We'll touch on that later. The novices pre-training. These are the things I did notice with my novice. This is like the first week trial run, so obviously you're going to see some things that you want to improve on. So I saw hesitation during her descent. It was very intimidating to her. Limited hip and knee flexion, which we're gonna target in the training program, and then falling too quickly without control, which is why you see me in the video, the second video, you see me holding her hands to make sure she's dropping safely, just so she can get the motion down. And then reliance on the instructor support, like I said, me holding her hands so she could safely drop, getting the motion down. Moving on, the somatosensory systems involved. So proprioception was a key vital step since this was essential for knowing the body's position, especially during how I wanted to, especially Jada's hip angle, and then her where her hip plane is, like where her plane is, if she was in the frontal transverse, and then also her torso alignment, also her hip alignment, and then leg extension for the opposing leg, which is supposed to be extended straight, and then her right leg or whatever leg she felt more comfortable with was tucked into her gluteus. So this was essential for her body's positioning. The vestibular system utilized maintaining her balance, and this prevented dizziness or over rotation. Um, I will touch on this way more in other further slides, but as far as how I wanted to overcome this, how I wanted to utilize this, I had Jada do practice where she did 3 dips after her training session on one of the days, just so not only her body can get it down, her mind can withstand the constant motion of dropping essentially fast, or just that motion that she's not used to. I wanted her to get practice in that to avoid a dangerous fall. And then tactile sensation and kinesthesia went hand in hand. So feeling the ground pressure through feet for stability, and then also that aided in detecting the speed. So that literally physically altered her acceleration and deceleration. Since it is a standard dip, I wanted her to be able to take the motions and break it down, but not break it down in a sense of breaking the parts down, but just slowing the motion overall down and understanding what each compartment needs for the dip to be complete. So these went hand in hand, and it aided her in detecting the speed of the movement when dropping to help her further her motion. This video will explain it um, in more detail. And then turn like this. And then kick your foot out like this. So this is what I was talking about the acceleration of force. It still looks a little wonky. It's her about like third week into this, I think. You see how you automatically have to fall? Yeah, invert. Okay, great. So now, as far as the training schedule, like I said, we wanted to work on hip, back mobility, back extension mobility, light core activation, balance prep drills, and all that I've mentioned before that I touched on. So basically, this looked like a Monday through Saturday schedule. On Monday, I had her practicing stretches. So this included like the frog stretch, the butterfly stretch, and a multitude of other ones. Those are just some examples for the stretchings I wanted Jada to be able to do. That would help with the movement overall. And then on Tuesday, what that looked like was dynamics. So that looked like butt kickers. That looked like high knees. That also appeared as let me think. Hmm. Oh, this also was including balance. So standing on one leg, and then holding one leg and standing on one leg because we wanted our balance to be fine. So this was dynamic and balancing on Tuesdays. And then so Monday and Tuesday mirrored Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday was also a stretch day, and then Thursday was also a dynamic and balance day. And the same procedure was used, the same structure of the exercises I wanted her to do in the stretches was the same ones, just on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So stretches Monday, Wednesday, dynamics and balance Tuesday, Thursdays. On Friday, we utilized yoga actually, and me and Jada are both familiar with yoga, especially with Galavies. So it was just kind of re-entering that for us. And we started off with Yoga the Bird, and she was perfect for shaping what goals we wanted for my novice to accomplish, and that ended up working really well. It was an 8-minute yoga session, and this focused on just the fundamentals, and it was this very slowed beginner version, just because not only are we familiar with it with these type of stretches, we also Jada is also an athlete, so it ended up working hand in hand. And touching on that, on Saturday, Alexa, please off. Sorry about that. On Saturday, um, I had her do an accelerated walking session, and then, like I touched on earlier, the three dips to focus. I mean, to be able to withstand the dizziness and not get headaches or prevent other actions, prevent other factors of that sort. So that was pretty that worked out with the training schedule, and we'll see in this video. This was basically just to help with her acceleration and deceleration. We'll watch it one more time. So, as I was saying before, Jada was a very fast and a quick adapt learner. That was when we were working on acceleration, deceleration. That was probably, I would say, the fourth week in. And that is the main focus of what we focus on, because every other step she had right. And I think what aided her in that is her being an athlete and her also doing yoga before. So this was like just getting the motion and fluidity right to be able to complete it and make it look clean. So as far as feedbacking, this looked like feeling pressure in her feet, feeling momentum of the drop, and then sensing her posture and alignment, which she did amazing at. This was I just wanted her to get on the level with the acceleration and deceleration, which we touched on um, in the former slide. And then verbal cues, we'll see a little bit more with the imagery since they play hand in hand. But verbal cues was like how I led her was leading my novice with lead with the chest, soft knees, control the descent. Um, your torso dropped too fast. You hit the correct ending position. That was positive feedbacking. So we'll get into the timing now. So basically, the timing of all this in the beginning stages, I wanted to prevent for her unsafe collapse and her to build confidence within the dip. And then also for in the middle stages, I wanted to allow the my novice to feel like she could critically think for herself. And I wanted her to figure it out for herself, but I was still here as the instructor to guide her and if she had anything she was really struggling with. But for the most part, she figured it out by herself. The last time I really had to instruct her by moving or helping her with her body position is when you see in that last video when I moved her foot. Kind of abruptly, actually, I will say. And then the final stages, given only after each full attempt, that is when I supported her anatomy and retention and gave her further guidance if she needed it. Now, as for regulatory and non-regulatory conditions, so the regulatory conditions, this